point racket as Kafelnikov serves at 4-5 first set.
15-0.
Match hasn't really taken off yet. Both players still feeling each other out and the conditions.
Première série.
Well, this is what I mean by great footwork. Look at this quickness by Kafelnikov, right in position to really murder the ball. He's got a forehand which reminds me of a player of just before our era, German Willem Bungert, who reached a Wimbledon semi-final. Very wristy forehand.
And Bungert was a great player on his day. He could clean any line in the matches. As we see Sampras chasing the drop shot. He's going for a little bit too much angle there, but he was there with plenty of time.
Jeu, Kafelnikov. 5 jeux par tour.
Well, ironically, Sampras hasn't yet had a love game, and Kafelnikov's had 2. But whether it's my heart talking or not, I just have the feeling that Sampras has a slight psychological edge, even as this match has progressed. I'm sure he has a great psychological edge, of course, coming into the match altogether, having only lost once to Kafelnikov, and that was last week in Düsseldorf, in a match really that didn't count all that much.
Zero.
Don't know whether you spotted where Kafelnikov moved to take that backhand, but he was standing on the line and then moved right inside it. He must have been almost halfway up to the service line when he played it. And although he didn't hit it that deep, the point is, hitting it so early, it's coming back with interest to Sampras.
There's always a risk involved when you step inside the baseline to receive serve, no matter whether it's a first or a second serve. But, not many players do it nowadays. Agassi does it. When a player of Sampras' serving power gets up against somebody who's doing it, it's difficult for him to control the serve and everything.
30.
It's that feeling of being rushed.
Yes, and I thought Sampras did so well on that 15-all point, because he served it right at Kafelnikov, right into his right hip. And although he can play early on the forehand, serving at the right hip, it makes it that much more difficult for him.
Break point. Second break point that Kafelnikov has had. was a brave second serve, going to the forehand side, but what a terrible return of serve. Perhaps he didn't have it in his mind that Sampras would be brave enough to serve to the forehand.
Avantage Sampras.
Well, I think those are big psychological blows, both for Sampras and against Kafelnikov, because the chances Kafelnikov's had have been very makeable, and frankly, he really hasn't looked like making them.
Jeu Sampras.
Sampras holds serve once again to lead 6-5 first set.
Live to Roland Garros with Peugeot, official partner of the French Open.
Last point of the 12th game.
Premier service.
Last point of the last game, Sampras broke his string. The vibra stop flew off the racket, and he just picked that up and then handed the racket to one of his entourage to have it restrung.
0-15.
Not for the first time. Kafelnikov has overhit the backhand. That was a close call, but it was over the baseline. He's missed by many, many meters. Good judgment.
Terrific judgment, because I think on a cooler day in sort of overcast conditions that might well have landed in. Only the second time in the set so far he's lost the first point of his service game.
Cleaned the line.
15.
And again, no power at all on the Sampras backhand. Of course, unlike Kafelnikov, he really can't take the ball that early. He needs the long swing. And in the middle of a court, when it's returned slowly, Kafelnikov can afford a long swing. Well, I wonder if the bells start ringing now that Sampras finally hits what is almost a demoralizing forehand. Well, this is where I think Kafelnikov has such an edge. It's one of the reasons my heart said that he could win the match, is that he can hook those balls on both sides and make it really more difficult for Sampras to volley. He's not looking for great depth. He's just looking to hit it down and make the volley very difficult.
40.
Well, again, great power on the Sampras forehand. That's two really big ones he's hit in this game. You feel that Kafelnikov now needs to come up with some good serving.
I didn't think for a second that Sampras had reached the drop shot.
Avantage Kafelnikov.
Made a good shot, and Kafelnikov came up with a good lob volley himself. He did make it quite easily, did Sampras, and had no option. I suppose he could have chased it.
Jeu Kafelnikov. C'est jeu partout.
Tie break. Can't help but think that this is such an important tie break for both players. Perhaps a little bit more so for Kafelnikov than for Sampras.
Yes, I agree with you. I think quite important at this stage for Kafelnikov to win this.
Sampras.
Not a bad way to begin the tie break. Your fifth ace.
Kafelnikov this year in tiebreakers is 9-4 ahead. 1-9 lost 4. Sampras 1-13 and lost 9. As one thinks of the two that Sampras lost in the Australian to Philippoussis. Well, again, you notice the wrist just laying back there, giving a little bit of extra power. And I love the way he stayed with that. And Sampras really would like to have stayed with his shot a bit longer.
Sampras.
Well, I was saying earlier that if Sampras can get Kafelnikov to play a lot of one-handed backhands, it says two things to me. It says that not only is he hitting a lot of balls back, but that Kafelnikov's just losing a little bit of sharpness, a little bit of real determination, is playing slightly negatively. Too many one-handers in that rally.
De partout.
His fourth double fault.
And really so expensive in the tiebreaker, because if you think of it, it's really a difference of 2 points. On the serve, Sampras' serve particularly, a point to the opponent.
Sampras.
Well, you can see Sampras trying to take to the net at some stage during this tiebreaker. I wonder whether Kafelnikov will. If he doesn't, of course, he's going to have to come up, I feel, with some really pressure-full passing shots.
Three mini breaks in this tie break, and one of the things that Kafelnikov is going to have to come up with is a first serve to get one in the tie break.
Yes, and I think it's pretty important really for him to score with them, because even if he doesn't ace, if he softens Sampras up for the next big shot, the next big ground stroke, and here's this one-hander that I've said that he's using now in this tiebreaker, to me that's negative. That's too defensive.